Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. I hope you guys are doing well. Scorpio, it's been almost 2 freaking weeks, right? Those of you returning, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Guys, thank you so much for your patience over the past week and a half, 2 weeks almost. I was trying to get all the readings out to everybody, and then I was going to take a couple of days. Planned on, even though I was traveling, doing some readings, and then with Tropical Storm Debbie, we really weren't sure what was going to happen. So it did not turn out the way I'd expected it to, but I think the downtime in its own weird way was necessary, and it's Mercury retrograde, so delays, mishaps. I don't think that it would go any other way. So for those of you who have emailed me as well, I did not respond like I usually do right away because I did not want to make plans and not be able to fulfill those plans, as I had made mention in that one video. So I'm returning these emails. I'm slowly getting back to everybody, so please be patient. There's a long list of you, and know that I have openings available this week, quite a few of those, and we're going to get back on schedule and track as well. Planning on some other things in the meantime too, so as fall approaches quickly, a lot of things are going to start to shift around for me a little bit, so please, again, be patient. We always get redirected. You know, we think we have plans, and we make those plans, and then things get redirected for a reason because we have some other work we need to do, whether it's for ourselves or whatever. Okay, so sorry. Messages. It's been crazy since I come back. It's like everybody's got ESP. She's back, right? Everyone's blowing me up. Scorpio, this read, we're just going to tap into your energy, see what's going on. Kind of got the feeling from Spirit that the next week or so, you know, give or take, there's a couple signs I need to finish readings up for August, and then probably jump into a second round of readings for everybody. Scorpio, you guys are amazing, and I will always get some extras out to you. You guys are just, you're there, you know what's up. So anyhow, now that I've gabbed enough, let's get to it, Scorpio. Let's see what's going on in your energy. God, did I miss this? Jeez Louise, have I missed doing this? So Scorpio, Spirit for Scorpio, what's going on? I don't know, Scorps, you could be dealing with a Taurus. Spirit just instructed me, is what I'm going to call it, to give you some warnings that there's likely to be a lot of little messages, and the way that I feel this is getting broken down is into 3 different spaces here for these messages. Get down from there, the dog. That it's going to be imperative that some of these messages are going to resonate for some of you, not all of you, bits and pieces. I don't know how they're going about this, so we're actually going to break this down. So I don't know. Pay attention to all of it. See what fits. Don't force something to fit. Sun, Moon, Rising, Scorpio. Some of you could be distracted right now, Scorps. Pay attention to your mindset. That High Priestess of Air coming out. Some of you could be going into a bit of hermit mode right now yourselves, where Mercury retrograde, it's kind of like you're knowing when you need to hunker down away from communication, needing to figure a few things out, I think, for yourself. You could feel like there's a lot, as I said, a lot coming in at you, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I can do this. Pay attention to any negative self-talk. Make sure you're not going to that. But there's something here, Scorpio. It's the Spirit is saying the inner workings of you. And I think that and I've talked about this before, Scorpio, you tend to come out, take on a lot, take it back in, sit with it, like going through observation mode, sorting it out, figuring it out, what you're going to do with the information that you've recently obtained. And then it's like you kind of have to go into your protective mode, that hermit energy of just by the self, to almost like Spirit's calling it regurgitate what you've just experienced, what you've just, Spirit is also saying, witnessed, what it is that you are needing to understand about something in particular. And I think the dog, hold on a second here. Okay, Scorp, sorry about that. The puppy had to go out. Not so little puppy anymore. So anyhow, Scorpio, I feel like you're bearing witness to something here. I think you've gained a lot of information. You have a lot going on around you. Spirit says that you may also feel like there's shitstorms going on outside of you. There's too much energy floating, maybe too much news, too much information. Like it's almost like you're being bombarded. For some of you, it could be downloads too, right? So it could be spiritual downloads, but it feels like you could be feeling a little pummeled by all of the energy that is coming in at you, for you, to you, and not quite knowing. As I say that, there's the Seven of Cups, the Nine of Swords on the Scorpio death card. There you go. Some of you could be dealing with an influx of emotions right now too. Your emotional energy might be a little off, a little disconnected, feeling disharmonious, like nothing's quite making sense is the way Spirit is bringing this into me. So there's a big need here right now to ground your energy, to make sure that you're feeling secure within yourself. It's going to be very important for you to do that, as a matter of fact, to process what is going on per Spirit, okay? So just be aware that 6:16 on the clock, that number could be important to you. Scorpio, it's like you're trying to find a balance of care, concern, moderation. Some of you could be dealing with somebody in a Knight of Cups kind of energy. Queen of Cups is like you're discerning what works for you, what avenue to take in regards to this. And I keep hearing information. What information have you been given? What information has come along to you? Scorpio, I feel like the dam is breaking on an emotional level for some reason. Some of you could be dealing with hormonal influxes. P.S. I'm not a doctor, not diagnosing you, right? But pay attention to that, because I feel like maybe that emotional well has been dry. Something is sparking, potentially something at a distance could be sparking that. Spirit is saying understanding, like the way they're bringing in it's like they're speaking. They'll bring me messages. I don't know how else to explain it. They'll bring me messages of certain things. It's like mine to discern. They're coming in very, very clear on what they have to say. And very much in, I'm going to call it the human form. It's really weird. Page of Wands, Three of Wands. Scorpio, you could be having somebody approaching you here in the near future that maybe had problems around... hold on a second. It was the cat this time. Okay, let's try this again. Good Lord, distractions. Speaking of those, right? You could be having somebody coming in, Scorpio, and I feel like this is somebody who, they may not have had the courage to come towards you about something. You could be receiving some kind of emotional news, but I also feel like for you, this is opening up some kind of gateway moving forward. I typically am not a big fan of that Page of Wands, but it's also, they're examining something here, right? The Page of Wands, Scorpio, I feel like that is you examining news or information. I don't know why I'm getting news and information from that Three of Wands, but it is, and it's coming from a ways away. And with this, it's like there's an end of a battle here. The end, I'm going to tell you, Scorpio, whatever's happening right now, if you're feeling muddled, mixed up, confused, kind of feeling like you're shutting down, you need this time to, Spirit saying, rest and reprieve your energy. Because I feel like there's a breakthrough that's coming in for you. Somehow. What that really means, all of you is going to be different, right? I don't know how that's going to play out in your everyday lives, because everybody's got different situations. But Scorpio, I do feel like once you work through some kind of emotional energy here, there's a breakthrough at hand. This is reminding you, those mountains and hills are things that we need to climb, right? Those are our, call them struggles. It is those lessons. It is Spirit saying time consuming as well. And it's like all of a sudden, like you whatever hurdles or procrastinating thoughts or way of doing things that you may have had. You're seeing this as a new opportunity. So if you've been dealing with something recently that's been plaguing you, if it's plaguing you now, know that the end of that plague is near, because this information that's come in, and if I'm going to tell you, it feels like a very caring source. They could have questioned whether or not they wanted to share some information with you. This Five of Swords is kind of like holding back. But Scorpio, this is also, with that Page of Wands and the Five of Swords, again, I'm not very keen on that Five of Swords typically. But this to me is like, I'm hearing from Spirit, victory is mine. This is you taking, disarming other situations in your life. That Page of Wands is seeing it, you're seeing it as an opportunity to be had. So it's I think that's a really positive place to be, that when we are faced with challenges and struggles, that we see them not as losses or mishaps, Spirit is saying, but rather seeing about how we can transform that into something that's positive for us. And Scorpio, I'm going to tell you, there is no other sign. Get down from there. Down. Good grief. There is no other sign that's going to be able to transform that energy and transmute that energy the way that you do. So, High Priestess is, you are all knowing, you are all seeing that even in difficult times or uncertain times, that it's always going to be about what you make of it, and what you're making of whatever this situation is for you with this information you are acquiring is going, it doesn't matter how this goes down. It doesn't matter how this just happened. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be okay. So Scorpio, I don't know what you've got going on specifically, but it has been challenging. And I'm going to kind of make a quick little joke here and say, no wonder I've had so many emails, if this has been the energy floating around. Wheel of Fortune coming out with that, Scorpio, and the Hierophant showed itself earlier, coming out sideways. Three of Swords, Nine of Swords. Scorps, I'm going to say this to you, Five of Swords, a lot of mental energy here with that High Priestess of Air too. You may have started at some point, we've manifested, we've done the work, right? We've seen the first half of the year be something that's been very valuable to us. And now going, this isn't quite the way I thought this was going to go. You could be, reevaluating what you thought your happiness was. You could be dealing with some guilt, regret, remorse, maybe over the past as well. But learning not to let that defeat you. I talked about those Three Swords. Scorpio, make sure that you're not carrying pain, hurt, and resentment into the next phase of whatever this is. Some of you, as much as I don't have many wands here that would give me the indication of frustration and anger, I do think there is some there. And I would say to you, be very mindful of that, because it's kind of like this is where you're spawning the ability to want to move forward from. I at 13:31 on the clock. Part of this for me to say to you is, Scorpio, we get motivated sometimes by our anger. It's like, tell me no and you watch me do it, right? I feel like what is difficult about this process is the fact that it feels like it's changing very slowly, where you're used to just the snap of your fingers, the twitch of your nose, wave of the wand, whatever. Being able to move out of one thing, get out of that. She's been so bad since vacation. You've been able to just move very limberly from one thing to the next. This process seems like it's taking a bit more out of you. There could have been just a piece to some healing work that needed to be done that hasn't quite happened yet, Scorpio. And it's starting to take place. This is like digging very, very deep within the surface that I don't, sometimes we just don't see things. We just don't even realize that they're there. And then something happens and we're like, shit. There's another piece of that onion, another layer of that onion, as I've talked about so many times before. you didn't know that this part of you existed. So now, the structure is changing. Your belief system is changing. Somebody else may be giving you the gift of foresight by something they've said, something they've done. Scorpio, I get this feeling of these 3 swords. It's almost like you're pulling those swords out of your own back. You're pulling them out of your heart space. You're disconnecting from some source of pain that Spirit is saying, some for third-party situations. Others of you, there are 3 particular things that you're disconnecting from. But the way they're showing this to me is as you remove these swords from your heart space, the wounds finally begin to heal. You think about a wound on our skin, right? Like you have that initial impact of whatever it is, and then it starts to stop the bleeding. It starts to heal, it scabs over, and then sometimes maybe you're left with a scar. Scorpio, this is kind of what this is giving me here. So I don't know what you've all been dealing with in regards to this hermit energy that seems to be coming up right now. Spirit, healing the isolation of the past. Scorpio, you've always, I feel like as a Scorpio, like we're born, get it down. We are born with a bone in our body that says do not trust. And then life happens and then we really don't trust, right? That's how this feels to me, is that this is like a pre-built part of you of not trusting people, situations. You've seen it happen over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, like, it's almost like you're questioning yourself. Was I wrong about something? Did I not see something clearly? Scorpio, it's not that you didn't see something clearly. You've seen it through the lens of where you had been and the experiences that you had had up to a given point in time. Now you've learned other lessons. Now you're beginning to realize certain things, and these realizations are catapulting this healing that seems extremely confusing based upon what you thought you knew. I hope that's making sense for you. So definitely, I feel like you're kind of caught in this sideways position of understanding this layer of whatever this is for you. It's a confusing energy. It's making my head kind of spin. I'm going to get one card here of advice for this one, and then we're going to move on. What else? Spirit guides. Scorpio, trust. I got the chills head to toe. Trust your inner guidance. Trust your knowing. Trust the foresight, whether you're getting foresight from the other side, whether you're getting foresight from, just your higher self. However this is coming in, signs, symbols, synchronicities. As I say that, 30, spirit guides. Looking for signs, there's that 3 again. Philosophical discussions and supervision. Scorpio, you could feel spirit. I'm giving it to you the way they give it to me. You could feel like there's monkeys. I'm going to call it flying fucking monkeys in the background to so many situations in your life. Pardon the squeak toy. Where they've got dirty hands. Scorpio, I don't know what the hell you all are dealing with right now. I'm not even going to pretend like I truly can dig into this, because I feel like this is multifaceted for all of you, but this is running on a deep spiritual plane. Temple Secrets 32, 5. I've seen that 5 a couple of times. Secrecy, isolation. There's a hermit energy. Observation. I said earlier, ritual magic. Scorpio, it's almost kind of like, I forget what it was from when they would say, take a walk on the wild side. Like, it's been so many years ago, I don't remember. Scorpio, I feel like you're almost being dared to walk into the dark side. And when I say the dark side, I don't mean unhealthy things. This is the darker side of your own anger. This is the darker side of your own ghost, your own past. This is also revelation of those flying monkeys around you. This could be some serious childhood wounding that's resurfacing. This could be nostalgia in some form. I think we like to think of nostalgia as like those really sweet moments, and it's bittersweet now. Scorpio, I don't know that it's necessarily bittersweet as much as this is a death to who you thought you were. I feel like in the past, Scorpio, you could have tied yourself to behaviors, patterns, people, and you're kind of waking up to that. Like, let's see it from the perspective of a parent that drinks, right? Maybe in the family lineage, generation after generation after generation, there's been a drinker. And you drink, but you don't drink the way they do. But you start to realize that even when you do drink, there's a very dark, potent side to that that's very unhealthy. You're realizing that this has to change. That there are things that are going to have to be removed from your life. That can be scary. Especially when we rely on it. Whether it's people, places, or things, but something, this news or information that's coming is giving you that foresight, and that information is providing foresight maybe in a way that you didn't anticipate. Okay. Threes, Scorpio, there was a reading I did, I think, not long ago for you guys. I got the chills so bad, where I talked about threes being in everything. 22:33 on the clock as I say that. 3 in the heart of your spread. So, this is a fight, Scorpio, I think internally, of the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy within you, that yin yang balance, trying to find balance for yourself. Next group of Scorpios, risk. Get ready, Scorpio. Number 31, honesty. Spirit said this is playing out like a storybook. I've got to, my curiosity here is like killing me. Like, I got to see. So then what comes after this? Way too many for Scorpio. What comes after this for Scorpio, Spirit? You know, there's something about Scorpio, I'm going to tell you, be careful you don't get caught in a trap. And as I say that to you, as I say that to you, there's self-worth, loyalty, trapped, reminder, talking about that nostalgia. Don't forget, High Priestess of Fire, anger, aggression. Look, I'm going to 5s and 7s, 5 7s and 3s, 33 on the bottom there. 6 breaks down to a 6, that's the past, right? It's our past coming back around. Scorpio, I'm going to tell you, throughout the next, Spirit saying 7 weeks. So that takes us into to your birthday season, Scorpio. Be very mindful of falling back into old patterns and old routines. Spirit is saying if it's convincing enough for some of you, you'll do it. I'm going to get real crazy here for a second. Scorpio, right now, and this is something I think I said similarly to Taurus for their August read. You're either going to change your life to continue to ascend, or you're going to fall backwards. Your loyalties need to lie within yourself. They need to be self-care, self-love, self-soothing. You're getting ready to jump off the edge of something. Hey, chill. You're getting ready to take this major leap of faith. Be careful who you tie it to. Because this obedience, Scorpio, you don't do restriction. Scorpio can play by the rules, but on their own terms, right? When you feel restricted, when you feel backed into a corner, you will come out fighting like a wildcat. I'm seeing you take this risk, but then seeing this obedience. And I'm hoping that this card of obedience isn't you. But Scorpio, Spirit is also saying for some of you, this is making other people realize that they're going to have to play by your rules if they're going to be in your life. There's something about going from this invisible energy to this risk of going, I don't want to be seen, to I've got nothing left to go and lose. I'm going after whatever this is. Some of you could find blockages along the route of manifestation somehow, but I think they're temporary. They don't feel long term. I think that you're going to have to put in a little more work to whatever this was that you weren't anticipating. The next new moon, did we just have I don't even know what moon cycle we're in anymore. Oh my God, that week just threw me off for a loop completely. The next new moon cycle, we have the 8/8 portal. This is going to be very important for you. It's like a time warp, Scorpio. It's like a time warp. Some of you could just be feeling like I don't know, out of sorts. Almost like you're kind of caught in between worlds. You could be, let's talk about The Simpsons for a second, right? Or Fruit of the Loom. What do they call that? The Mandela effect, right? Where, oh yeah, it was there for years and all of a sudden it's just not. It was never that way. Rewriting history, Scorpio. You could be seeing a lot of Mandela type of stuff going on right now around you, where it's like, that's not what I saw before. That's not what that was. It's almost like, make sure you're not gaslighting your own self right now. That's real important. Hey, guys, chill. Pay attention, because there's something too around the time frame and the wheel spinning, Scorpio. You could be going through a massive timeline shift that you feel like, it's almost like, let's just say as an example, hey, I'm so sorry guys, I won't edit this video, it is what it is, this is my life. Let's just say 8/7, right? August 7th. You're living in this cutesy little world. You woke up on the Lionsgate portal and nothing feels the fucking same. Everything's all weird. You may not believe your eyes. You may feel like you're walking around in some kind of brain fog right now too. There's something about the reality shift, the dimension shift, the change is happening here, and I feel like this has all been catapulted by news and information that you're getting. This could be, I'm going to tell you, for some of you, this is external to you. This is like watching the news. This is, I'll put it to you, now that I said it that way, I'm going to say this to you. Something that I discussed while I was out of town with someone. We had watched the weather, right? And won't say what source I got the weather from, but it was weather. And, we were kind of caught in confusion as to what the weather was going to do, right? It's hurricane, it's unpredictable, it turned into a tropical storm, blah, 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 right? But they were showing pictures on TV, which I never watched the television, it's just not my thing. And then this was a reality check even for me as I say this to you, as I'm talking about this, where they were showing a road we had just been on. and said that it was flooded. I mean, we're talking video of like flood, like up past your knees kind of thing. And I looked at the person that I was with and I said, was that not just where we were? Yeah. Where the hell is that footage coming from? In that moment, I was like, they're full of shit. I don't care if it's the news. I don't care if it's the weather. I don't care if it's people in general who fearmonger you to believe that you should be in fear of what you stand to lose. Right? You think about it, like I'm going to say, like I went out, made sure I had groceries and stuff, made sure that we had candles and things in case the electricity went out, right? Like preparing for this storm, going, gosh, like what are we walking into, right? And trying to keep up to date on things. And was it bad? Yeah, it got bad. But not like they were depicting. Now, I won't say that some areas didn't get it, because they did, right? That's very evident. But there's something about this wheel, Scorpio. There's a wheel here, obviously, in the Wheel of Fortune that is turning. You look behind this obedience card. There's like the mandala wheels, as I call them anyhow. I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what I call them. It's kind of like that kaleidoscope kind of energy where you turn it and it changes and it morphs. Scorpio, the world outside of you is morphing right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be like, call me crazy if you want to, but it's like dealing with fucking aliens. Like, what are these people doing? You're having some certain awareness to something here that is very different than what you have come to know. This world is changing. Your world is changing rapidly. This risk, Eight of Swords, that's fear-mongering, right? It's a self-imposed restriction based upon the spirit, falsified beliefs from the past. I'm going to tell you, if you're working on things in the material realm, whether it's your money, making a large purchase, setting up your lifetime of legacy and stability for generations to come, do not fear what you know you need to do. Don't fear it. They want us to live in fear. From our credit score to the weather to whatever this is for you, that you wouldn't be able to do it. There's just no way. Again, I'm going to go back to the fact that some kind of news, emotional news and information from the past, Mercury retrograde, has come back in. And as you're taking a solid look at yourself and realizing things that need to be, Spirit is referring to it as undone, there's a fear creeping in. Be very mindful of that, because that is a childhood wound that needs to be resolved. It's examination. There's an examination of things too, Scorpio. There's a lot of swords. There's a lot of mental energy going on. Some of you could maybe not be sleeping well. Your dreams could be keeping you up at night. Maybe you have held back out of fear of someone else watching you, keeping tabs on you. I'm going to tell you, be honest with you, somebody could be stalking social media, just all these different things, but everybody's kind of looking at you right now for some reason. And you're like, I don't want to be seen. Don't completely disconnect, Scorpio. There comes that Three of Swords for the 19th fucking time. Four of Pentacles. That Three of Swords just keeps showing up and showing up and showing up. I'm gonna say this to you again as an example, using myself, which I so often do. Many of you have heard me talk about a prior situation years ago of domestic violence that I dealt with. And I lived in fear all the time. What if I left? What would happen to that person? What would happen to me? What would happen to all these things, right? And then you get to a point where you have nothing left to fear. You've thought of every possible scenario. You have been succumbed by the fear of the what ifs for so fucking long that it breaks you down. It's like crunching bones in a mortar and a pestle. There's nothing left. That when you get to that point that you have just, you don't even care what happens, whether it's out of desperation, whether it's out of exhaustion, where you just go, I've got nothing left to lose. I have nowhere to go but up. That's when the no fucks to give hits. There, my give a damn is a busted, or whatever you want to call it. Scorpio, that's the point where you start to pull those swords out of your own heart. You start to remove that pain. It's like an exorcism of some sort that you have held on to for so long. You have to believe that you are worthy of whatever it is that you're being told you can't. You have to have a self-belief. There comes the 8. Chills from my head to my toes. I haven't had those chills since the last reading I've done on here. Swear to goodness. 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, the World, Scorpio. You're closing out a cycle with 10 of Swords, High Priestess. This is spiritual evolution. This is closing the door on a very painful past. Scorpio, this particular wound runs very, very, very fucking deep. Again, for each of you, it will be different on where that comes from, why it exists. Some of you, there comes that Fool, the Risk and the Fool card. I'm going to show these to you. 310, 301, and 013 could be important numbers for you. The Fool and the Risk, pretty much identical. Taking that flying leap of I've got nothing to do but go up. Like, it's like trusting and having divine faith that as you take that leap, Spirit is going to come in, grab you up under the arms, and whisk you off to do your thing. You are protected. You are being saved. There's nothing left to lose here. I'm just seeing that. Queen of Cups, the Fool. Scorpio, this is you. Take calculated risk. Don't jump into something recklessly. This is not a time for recklessness, right? But to make a calculated risk, calculated assessment, a calculated observation of what comes next. You have worked through something, or are working through something, or Scorpio, going to work through something that is quite painful. And I'm going to tell you, for some of you, it's other people that have brought this pain in different ways. Some people don't want to see you succeed. And I know we've talked about that before on this channel, and I'm going to tell you that again. But Scorpio, do you see this? I want you to see this. Please, spirits, please stop living in survival mode. It's okay to say I'm a survivor. I've survived X, Y, and Z. We have all survived something somehow. But don't live in fight and flight response. Do you see this? That Ace of Pentacles is the hand of God. Allah, Buddha, Mother Teresa, I don't care, whatever you believe in. They've handed you the world. They're up-leveling you. They are moving you to the next phase. You've got the world in your hands. Do you need to defend it and protect it? Of course. But do you need to be in fight mode? No. This is you needing to soften because the next opportunity is within grasp. It is right there. It is being gifted to you via spirit. 7 of Wands, the Page of Pentacles. If you have struggled financially, Scorpio, I'm hearing from Spirit world renowned. 4004 on the clock. Some of you are going to start to leave a legacy. You are going to make a very impactful mark. Scorpio, some of you, it's like the paparazzi. Taking a picture as you get in your car and drive off. Take one last look, motherfucker. Go write your story, tell it the way you want to. But I'm paving my path forward. Scorpio, this is some very, very different energy for you. Like, I don't even know what to make of this. I'm going to be honest. Always. These are people watching you. Maybe you live your life in private. Maybe you're not giving out valuable information. I don't know why it's coming in that way, but it is. Scorpio, you've worked for it. And I think that it's funny as I'm, again, chills, as I'm sitting here looking, the way I laid these cards out, 8 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles is that 9th pentacle. Look at this. And with that is that, whoops, the 9 of Pentacles and that world, or that the world card, the 2 of Wands. That 8 and 1 is 9. There she is. You're gaining a massive opportunity here. And I'm going to tell you, the part of this around trust is something that you are going to have to be willing to do after the painful lessons you have learned. There's something quite magnificent here coming in for you. But your fear of trust is probably your biggest problem. Okay? The Emperor coming out sideways, the Empress, 5 of Wands, the Hangman. Scorpio, this is the fight that you've always put in to get to that Empress status. Dealing with half-assed emperors, you know, or empresses, whatever, right? Reverse the roles as it applies. Genders are not specific. But it's like I've worked so hard to get to where I am, I'll be damned if anything's going to throw me off. But then there's this emotional news or information that comes in. It's not that, it's, you know, you think about it, let's just say you managed, as an example, right? You finally at a point where you've got $500 in your savings account. And then the furnace breaks down. Dead middle of winter. So there goes your $500, right? You're used to that kind of upheaval. You're like, fuck, now I have to rebuild, right? Gonna save again, back down to 0. This rebuild, Scorpio, is not in that sense that you're so used to. This is a rebuild of emotions. Scorpio, you are one who likes to see that instant change, right? And even people too who live in PTSD, some, not all, they have to see a physical change taking place. So you think about it, it's like, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're like, I need to see some kind of progress, you know, maybe you'll go in and clean your kitchen cabinets or get your laundry done, and then you feel like you've accomplished something, like you have to physically see it. I don't think that this can be seen or felt. This is something you have to process internally. And then this gift from God comes in. That's the difference. That's why this feels so confusing to you. Because it doesn't come in the same way as it once did. You've learned the lessons around that. You don't need to learn those ones anymore. Knight of Pentacles, there's again that offer. Scorpio, some of you could be having multiple offers coming into you going, I need parts of you, Scorpio. contracts, obligations, partnerships, pairings. And, hello, ma'am. And you are being asked to come to it as the King of Cups. You're being asked to see this through the eyes, the heart space, the emotional space of the King of Cups. It's not about the tangible. It's not about the material. It's about the compassion. It's about the emotional balance. It's about love. And that's what's needed of you right now. Some kind of nourishment, and I will say both, of the self to heal those wounds and to those of other people. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. What a divine pairing. A Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Earth and water balances each other out perfectly. There's a truth, there's an epiphany, there's a realization, there's a victorious moment that comes in with this because you are incorporating both of these within you. I don't see this as a divine pairing outside of you and then someone else. I see this as you. There is that yin-yang balance that needs to happen, and I think Spirit is helping you to address that. That this is spiritual evolution, Scorpio. Advice on this one. You can't fucking make it up, I swear to God. 19, light activation. 19 is the sun in the tarot. Evolution of spirit. Actioning of plans and transcendence. I literally just said about the evolution, and that card comes out. This is an alignment of your prayers, your manifestations, the words that you have whispered to God in times that you have been on your knees. Scorpio, this is a brand new experience for you that you're just not familiar with. Hey guys, quit. Violet fire, transmutation, detoxification, psychic vision, constant distraction. As the distraction back here has gone on the whole time. Hey, no more. Quit. I talked about you transmuting that energy and this being a spiritual lesson. There it is. Temple of Mary, talk about that emotional, mothering, nurturing, loving space. Emotional expression, playful innocence. Scorpio, I remember my grandma used to say things like, that person couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. You know, old adages like that. Scorpio, you can't think your way out of this. You're going to have to feel. Whatever this is, the mental aspects of this Mercury retrograde for you, you can't think your way out of this. You're going to have to feel it to understand it. You have to accept it for what it is. Again, for all of you, this is just going to be so much different from one to the other. There's something about diamonds. There's the color purple. I can't help it. Purple Rain. I love Prince. I really do. And I can't think of all the words to that song right now. My brain is not having the human form right now. I don't know. Look up the words to Purple Rain. And there's something about diamonds too. Something specific about diamonds for somebody. I don't know what that's about. This is you shining your light, Scorpio. This is a very different reading than I usually get for you guys. The energy that comes in with this is something to be had. What is this obedience about for Scorpio spirit? Six of Wands. I told you, stepping into the spotlight. King of Wands, Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Scorps, this obedience, I think, is something that is being demanded of you. Somebody wanting you to play by their rules, you know, and you see this typically with narcissistic behavior, right? And I know that word gets thrown around a whole lot. But a narcissist will ask for everything from you and expect perfectionism. And Scorpio, you're hard enough on yourself as it is. And then they give you nothing for doing your very best. They'll still tell you that you're not good enough. Scorpio, where in your life have you dealt with this wound? Is it negative self-talk? Is it other people? Is it your mother, your father, society? It doesn't matter what it is. And I'm going to stick to the fact here, which I don't ever see this Five of Swords this way. That Three of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. You're releasing something here. This is narrowing it down to the right group of people where you give your attention and love to. Three of Pentacles and the Empress, 3 again. 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. Scorpio, I can't help but feel jealousy from this 5 of Swords in one way for some of you. For others of you, Scorpio, this guy with the 3 swords, this is you reclaiming what is yours. Those are my 10 of Pentacles. Get your fucking paws off of them. I mean, this is the Empress kind of stepping into a little bit of mean bitch mode. And it's not selfish, Scorpio. That's the crazy thing about this, is it's not selfish. It's just what's rightfully yours. It's your right to abundance. It's your right to love. It's your right to heal. It's your right to move on from something. Spirit just said expect opposition. Two of Cups, 9 of Swords, Judgment. Holy shit. Scorpio, be mindful of your partnerships. But I'm going to tell you, side note to that, for some of you, you may be hitting this place of ultimate fulfillment in your peace of heart, like a peace of heart, peace of mind, that maybe for all of your years, I'm going to say 53 years. I don't know why, but 53 years. You lived under somebody else's thumb. Maybe you're 53 years old. Maybe you're 35 years old. I don't know. Maybe 35 was a point for you. I don't know. And now you're not. There's something, you know, we've talked about this before. You guys breaking free, what was it? You guys breaking free, you were done. When you were done, you were done. There was so much this year in these readings, right? And we have a long ways to go yet. But Scorpio, this is a big chapter closing for you. That there was still like one last part of a wound. We'll call this one big cycle that had a bunch of little cycles in it that needed to be addressed before it could all close out. And it's highly likely that somebody from your past, maybe a part of your past that you wanted to forget about, has sat back and watched you get to this point of maybe marriage, happy home, happy life, happy husband, happy wife, I don't know, right? where you're coming together and you're healing. And this is inflicting karma on others. Again, Scorpio, again. Where they thought they had the upper hand because you still had this healing to do, they've lost control. The script has been flipped. The roles have been reversed. The tables have turned. However you want to refer to this as. But it's you riding off into the sunset in some type of victory when this is said and done. And right now, I think you're caught in the middle of the confusion. Hey, absolutely not. You are caught in the middle of the confusion of understanding this wound that needs to be healed. And I'm going to say psychic attacks, right? We've talked about that a little bit recently. This person may see you doing something that to you is just you being happy and living life. To them, this doesn't even make sense. Scorpio has always been controllable, easily manipulated, forced to break. Now you're not. It's a big deal, Scorpio. This is I don't even know how to explain this energy to you the way I wish I could right now. Because what I feel is like this nervous tingle within my entire body of going, what is coming next? What is coming next? Advice for Scorpio on this. Number one, it's a new beginning, Scorpio. Angelic realms, a team effort, charity, validation, and patience. Scorpio, you are divinely protected with this deepened spirit, this eye that looks out for you, and then there's eyes that are watching you. Spirit knows who means well and who doesn't. And it's kind of like I want to say to you from Spirit is that's all that you need to know about that. You may not need to know anymore. You're being set off on a quest. Visionary mental strength and resilience. Spirit's supporting you in all of these ways. Feng Shui might be something too that you're starting to get into, finding the balancing of energies, harmonious life. 8, cosmic gateway, insecurities, connections with others, and refocusing. Massive lifestyle change, Scorpio, is on the horizon once again. And I think that this is going to incorporate the body and the mind. This is a big readjustment for you. Spirit saying this is far different than anything you've ever discovered before. So for those of you who have put in the work and are a part of this ascension process, who are elevating, Scorpio, you feel so light. It's so nervous and yet so light to me that you don't even know how this is happening. You think about it. Here's my momisms, right? My momisms. Beauty and the Beast at the end, when she kisses him or whatever happens. I can't remember exactly now. Where he starts to morph back from the beast into human form. He's like comatose. He feels it happening, right? Like his paws are starting to turn into fingers and his claws are going back to fingernails and his hair is decreasing and he's becoming human, right? In that vision, in that scene, he's being wrapped. He's being protected and he's being held up during this transformation. this change, this lightening of this energy. He goes from being this big, heavy, horrid beast to this soft, kind, loving, handsome, easy on the eyes guy. Not saying, Scorpio, that you've been a beast, right? But that to me is the ego falling away. That is the darkness and the anger and the bitterness subsiding. You healing that last little bit that's coming to the surface that just brings you to complete frustration and confusion. Scorpio, this is your Beauty and the Beast moment. This is taking that masculine energy and incorporating it into something loving because someone has given you some kind of emotional information. And it may feel to you like it hurts somehow. But what it does is opens you up again from another deeper, more core level of yourself that you didn't know was still kind of like under lock and key. I don't know that there's any other way to explain it. But this is a very deep, deep reading. And I hope that as we go on to an hour now, I hope this makes sense for you. I hope that this brings clarity. There's a big paradigm shift happening here. And the worlds are changing. I don't even know, like, Spirit, the worlds are changing. Sometimes, Scorpio, we can't make sense of it. And I just heard I crossed my heart. Some of you could be making commitments to new things. Be mindful of contracts and such. But you're making long-term plans. And some people will not be happy with that. All right. Scorps, I'm leaving it there. I hope this video helped you. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you for all the ways that you support this channel by just everything that you do. Liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, donating, personal readings. You guys, I don't know what I would do without you. I love you all so very much. Thank you for your patience with me. I'm so excited to be back and doing this. What a couple of weeks it's been. But let this new phase, this another part of this year evolve, right? All right, Scorps, sending you tons of love. Personals are open and available. Info in the description box below the About section of the page. Take wonderful care of yourselves, and I will see you again much sooner this time around. Bye.